Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining today. My name is Caitlin and I work with Lone Wolf Real Estate Technologies, and my job at Lone Wolf is to work with the agents to help you all just become more comfortable with these new tools that you have. So today we're going to just talk about Wolf Connect, and I want to show you a few things that you can now log in and start getting comfortable with. So we're not going to throw too much at you today, but just go over a couple of things. So first we're going to talk about the Wolf Connect system and your login. Hopefully you all have received your username and temporary password, as well as a link to the system. If you ever forget your password, you can always just click on this forgot password link here. Your username is always going to be the same. It'll be your first initial, last name. But then, like I said, if you ever forget your password, you can always just click on that and we'll set you up with a new one. So once you've logged in, then you'll be taken to this screen. And so what Wolf Connect is it's an online office, if you want to think of it that way, and a place you can always log into because it's web-based to see exactly what's going on and give you that online office feel. So we're going to talk about setting up your profile today, and then talk a little bit about the leads and contacts, as well as some other features that I want to draw your attention to. Now, if you want to learn more about the Lone Wolf tools, you can visit this website here, this keytoyouroffice.com, and it just explains a little bit more about what Wolf Connect has to offer and some of the different features it has. And then this is my contact information here. If you want to write down this agents@lwolf.com email address, that goes to myself as well as our entire agent support team. So if you ever have any questions or need some assistance, you can always just email that email address and someone will always be available to help you out. Alright, with that being said, I'm now going to jump into your live Wolf Connect system and take you through some different features. So this is Wolf Connect, and again, it's giving you that online office feel. So if you see on this home page, there's a photo album that they have set up for you, some office news that you can click on and see what's going on. Scrolling down, we have some other little areas that corporate wants you to have easy access to. So this system, just so you know too, is all user role based. So everything that you click on in here, you're supposed to be able to click on. Everything you see, you're supposed to be able to see. So really the best way to learn this system is to just log in, start clicking around. That's the best way to learn it, and just see what you like and don't like, and just see what it has to offer. The reason why kids are always so good at learning new things is because they don't have any fear, so they're not afraid to click on a button. So just come in here, and that same mentality is going to help you out. So now going through, I'm going to start from the right and work my way over and show you a few things. And the first thing I want to show you today is going to be under the admin tab, under your profile, and that's setting up your profile. So if you haven't done so already, this is the one piece of homework I suggest you do after today, after listening to this presentation. So scrolling down, you're going to see that a lot of your contact information has already been added, and that's just because it is being pulled from the back office and pushed to this system here. So if you do see anything in here that maybe needs to be updated, like a phone number or a last name, then just be sure to let your admin know so that they can change it throughout the system. But scrolling down, there is a place that you have the ability to change, and that is your photo and about me. Now this information is just internal, so it's not going to be displayed on any websites or anything, but it is a great way to get to know the people in your office. So again, going off that, providing the online office feel, we use this system internally at Lone Wolf as well, and our corporate office is actually based out of Cambridge, Ontario, but I'm located in Denver, Colorado. So a lot of times I speak with people over the phone that I haven't actually met, so I can log into our internal Wolf Connect and find that person, put a little face to the name, and I'll read a little bit about them. So that's what you can do here. So add a photo, and then write just a little bit about me, maybe how long you've been in real estate, or what you specialize in, things like that. And then after you've done that, you can click on that save button. The next part about your profile is under this messaging tab. Now, something that's really important with this system is that we want it to be able to communicate out to you when you're not able to log into the system every day. So, for example, you have a new lead that has been assigned to you. We don't want you to always have to be able to log into here to accept that lead. We want you to also be able to accept it on your phone. We know that a lot of the times we are in the car, out on the road, dealing with buyers and sellers. So we want the system to communicate to you when you're doing that. So that's where this messaging tab comes in handy, because here is where you can configure how you want the messages to be sent to you. You'll notice when you log in here, you're already going to have your email entered, and it's going to show you your primary email address. But then you also have the ability to click on this add button, and you can add as many different email addresses as you'd like. So for example, maybe these lead assignments, you want those to go to a team email address. You can add in that email address in here. You can also click on this mobile. Maybe you want to receive some of these notifications as a text message. So for example, you need to follow up with a contact, so that can be sent to you as a text message to remind you. So what you can do is just add in your mobile number here, and come up here and click on SMS, and then hit save, and you've added your phone number. So in going back to these different areas, they're going to make more sense as we walk through the other parts of this Wolf Connect, but you want to make sure these are all just work as red light, green light. So go ahead and make sure that these are turned on, that they're green. We know this is a new software for you, so you're not really sure how it's going to work for you yet. So just making sure everything is turned on for now so nothing falls through the cracks is important. And then a little bit later down the road, you can come back in here and really configure this. So maybe you don't want some of these things like your events that are coming through, event reminders, those don't need to go to your email address. And you can turn on and off however you want to set that up. So just making sure you have the correct email in here, and then adding any additional emails or maybe a phone number. This forward tab over here, if I click on this box, this ad appears, and I can click on that. And the best example for this forward area is if I click on add my own address and continue. So what I can do here is if I'm going to go on a vacation and I want to take that vacation where I just have complete relaxation, I don't want to look at my phone, nothing. So what you can do prior to that vacation is come in here, click on the forward add button, click on email or a text message again, and add in an email address or phone number of a person that you want all of these messages to be sent to while you're away. So maybe a teammate or an assistant. You can add in their information here, put in the date and time for when you're going to be gone, and then the system knows that after this date of when you're going to return, all these messages are going to go back to your email or phone number. So just something to do so you know that these messages aren't going to go unanswered, but just not going to bother you while you're away. And then hit save there once you have that set up. So that's all you need to take away from this admin tab. Moving along, next I'm going to talk to you about is the leads and contacts. Now I'm actually going to jump over to a demo site for that information because I don't want to pull up anybody's contact information. But the way it's set up in our system is you're going to have a lead until you've accepted it. Once you've accepted it, then it will be put in your contacts. So one way to accept the leads is, as we mentioned before, it's being sent to you on your phone. You can accept it on your phone. Another way is if you log into here, you'll see that this flags that I have some pending leads. So you can click on this leads button. And then I can go through and accept all the leads that have come through. Now once you've accepted the lead, it's automatically going to be stored in your contacts. And that's in here. So one thing you can do too is if you're currently using a contact database is to export your contacts from there and import them into this system. And to do that, you can click on this import tab and follow these steps. What you'd have to do is create an Excel spreadsheet and export them from there onto the Excel spreadsheet and then import them into here. If you have any challenges with that, you can always just let us know too, and we can assist you with that. So once you've accepted your leads and now they're your contacts, when you have time, now you can do all of your contact management, which I'm going to walk you through. So I'm going to click on this Jessica Banks as an example. And this is where you do your contact management. So first it's giving me my contact information. This is where you can add phone number, address, things like that. You also have up here the ability to change the category, which is really important in here because when we're setting up drip marketing campaigns, maybe we have a campaign set up for first-time home buyers. Once we've made it so that Jessica is a first-time home buyer, it's going to be automatic that she starts receiving that campaign from us about the first-time homebuyers because it's triggered that campaign. So it's important to make sure that you give each client a category just so we can separate them for when we want to send out that communication. Next is the family information. So this is just a great way to maybe the people buying the house have a different relationship, so you want to make note of it, or they have a lot of kids and you want to write down their kids' names, or just to keep track of who you're all working with and remember their names, birthdays, or add any additional notes here. Next is this Notes tab. Now this area here is you're really going to get as much out of it as you put into it. So we want you to be able to track all the communication you have with this person, even if we work with them for 6 months or to a year. We want to be able to go back to that very first conversation. It works really great too if they come up to you and say, you didn't show me this, or we didn't talk about this. Why don't we talk about this? You can pull up the conversation and say, actually, at this date, I did send you an email about this, and you didn't, want to see it. So whatnot. But for example, in here you can say, call received. Meeting set up for Thursday. So I just wrote my notes in here about the conversation that we had on the phone, and then next I want to do is meeting scheduled. And my meeting scheduled for Thursday. So I'm going to go into this calendar here, and then I'm going to put in Thursday of next week. And then once I hit save, now because we have it set up so the system's communicating out to us through our phones, you don't have to worry about then going and writing this on a sticky note, putting it on your computer, writing it in your phone. You've already told the system to remind you of this date, so it's going to send that notification to your phone already as a reminder. So just making sure, especially with emails you send, just add any kind of communication you have with this person here so we can just begin to track all that. Next is activity. Now this area becomes really robust with the agent website, because in here is where you can monitor all the activity that they're doing on the website. So it says here, Jessica saved a search, so I can look at exactly what that search she saved. And this just gets you to know the person better, especially if you haven't spoken with them yet. You can see all this, what they're doing on the website, so when you do have your first conversation with them, you know exactly what they're looking at. So making sure to monitor all that activity. You could also click on this log tab, and you can see every communication, everything that this person has done, and just really keep track of what's going on with the specific contact. And then lastly down here is the drip marketing. So earlier I mentioned that changing the categories to set up those triggers to your drip marketing campaigns. This is where you can see what campaign she's currently getting from you. So you can see here she's getting the holidays campaign from us. You can also click on add entry, and you can tie her to any of the campaigns as well. The ones that you've created, and maybe you want to start sending her this client for life buyers or whatnot. So that's the contact management. Great way to get comfortable with that, and like I said earlier, just start playing around with it. Next thing we want to talk about today, and I'm actually going to go back over to the system. And the next thing I want to talk about is these two tabs over to the left-hand side, and that's the calendar and the WIGO. First is the calendar. Now I know we're all familiar with calendars and how they work. In here you have 3 different calendars. You have your individual calendars, your corporate calendars, and your shared calendars. So for the corporate calendar, those are set up at the corporate level, so events, things coming up that they want to put on to show up on everybody's calendar. So then you also have the ability to create your own calendar. So again, going back over here, you'll notice on my calendar, I have my client calendar, fitness calendar, client or kids calendar, all of that, and they're all color-coded so I know exactly which one's which. And then with each calendar or calendar item I create on here, I have the ability to make it private or shared. So another example, if you're a team, you can create a calendar just for your team members, so it's only going to show up on their calendars. Or maybe you are creating an event and you want everybody to see it or whatnot. You can make it show up on just yours or on certain people in the office. You also, just to make note, I don't want to spend too much time in here, but you can also sync these calendars with your Google and Outlook calendars. So something that you probably will want to do, just so it's going to show up both ways. especially if you're on your phone a lot of times. You can add onto your Outlook, and it's going to show up on here as well. So if you want to set up that sync, again, let us know and we can help you with that. The last thing I want to talk about today is WIGO. Now, WIGO stands for What is Going On, and it's a great tool to begin to use, especially when you start getting comfortable in here, and to open this up first, because it's going to pull from all these areas that we just spoke about and put it all in one place. So I know exactly what's going on today, this week, and this month based off of all these other areas. So for example, today I have a meeting with Joe, and then after that's been taken care of, I can just cross it off my list. I can also add a WIGO, so maybe something comes up during the day, and I have to come in and, meet with so-and-so or pick up milk or whatnot. You can add your own WIGOs. So this works the same as a checklist. I'm that type of person that when I come into the office, I like to make a checklist for myself, so I know exactly what I need to do that day. But a lot of times the checklist is lost by the end of the day. So this is just where you can make an online checklist for yourself, and again, also pulling from these different areas. So going through this, registered events, maybe there's an event that was coming up that Reliant Realty put on and you registered for it. You can see when that is. Unread messages, so maybe some messages were sent to you. You can pull them up in here that you haven't seen. Leads to accept, so another area for you to accept a lead. Maybe some leads came in overnight and you have some pending leads in there. Contacts to follow up with, so this is pulling from our leads and contacts area in here. When we put up that follow-up date with Jessica, then that would then show up on the screen here. And then listings expiring, because we do already work with your MLS board, so that's something that's going to be sent out to you as well. So all this information in here is something that you can also configure to how important each category is. So, for example, if I click on this wrench tab, I can go in and say, okay, for example, contacts to follow up with. It's really important that I follow up with my contacts. I don't want to forget about it. So maybe you want to be reminded of this every day until that date, or 2 days prior, or just the day of. You can configure each one of these categories to how often you want to be reminded of them. Close that one down. So that is all we have scheduled to talk about today. Again, if you have any questions, you can email that agents@elwolf.com email address, and we can always assist you. But like I said, it's the best way to learn about this is just come in here and start playing around with it. And to make sure your profile is set up so that those messages are set to come to your phone and nothing falls to the cracks. So thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day.